Have you ever felt that invisible forces are holding you back from achieving your true potential? What if I told you that there exists a sacred code, hidden from the masses for centuries, that could completely transform your destiny in just 24 hours? This isn't fantasy or wishful thinking. It's ancient wisdom that has been carefully guarded by spiritual masters throughout history. Today, this powerful knowledge will be revealed to you, offering the key to unlock a life beyond your wildest dreams. The greatest minds throughout history, from Einstein to Tesla, from ancient Egyptian priests to Himalayan mystics, all understood a fundamental truth. Energy is the foundation of all existence, and our ability to align with specific energetic frequencies determines our reality. This sacred code is essentially a method of recalibrating your energetic signature to match the frequency of success, abundance, and fulfillment. For too long, this knowledge has been kept from ordinary people, reserved only for those deemed worthy by self-appointed gatekeepers of wisdom. You might be wondering why you haven't heard about this before. The answer is simple, yet disturbing. Powerful institutions have systematically suppressed this information because an awakened, empowered population is harder to control. Think about it. If everyone knew they possessed the inherent ability to transform their circumstances rapidly, to manifest their desires, and to break free from limiting beliefs, entire systems of control would collapse overnight. Your doubt and skepticism aren't accidental. They're the result of conditioning designed to keep you in a state of disempowerment. Today marks a turning point in your journey. As you continue reading, you'll begin to feel subtle shifts in your awareness, small cracks appearing in the walls of limitation you've accepted as reality. This isn't just another self-help technique or motivational speech. It's a direct transmission of knowledge that has the power to rewrite your destiny code. Are you ready to step into your true power? Are you prepared to leave behind the person you were yesterday and embrace the unlimited potential that has always existed within you? The choice is yours, and the time is now. When was the last time you felt truly alive, buzzing with potential and certain that anything was possible? For most people, that feeling becomes increasingly rare as adult life progresses, replaced by routine, responsibility, and resignation. But what if that deadening of possibility isn't natural at all, but rather the result of a specific frequency of thought that you've unconsciously adopted? The sacred code begins with recognizing a profound truth. Limitation is not your natural state. It is learned, and what is learned can be unlearned. Look around at the world's greatest achievers, innovators, and game changers. What separates them from everyone else isn't superior intelligence, extraordinary talent, or lucky circumstances. The differentiating factor is their relationship with possibility. They operate from a different energetic frequency, one that attracts opportunity, catalyzes synchronicity, and magnetizes success. They've tapped into the sacred code, sometimes consciously, sometimes intuitively, but the results speak for themselves. Their lives demonstrate what becomes possible when you align with the frequency of unlimited potential. You might be thinking, that's easy for them. They're special, gifted, or privileged in ways I'm not. I understand this reaction because it's part of the conditioning that keeps the sacred code hidden from view. The truth is both simpler and more profound. The only thing separating you from your greatest vision for your life is the frequency you're currently tuned to. Like a radio that can access countless stations by changing its frequency, you can access entirely different realities by shifting your energetic signature. The first step in activating the sacred code is accepting that transformation isn't just possible, it's your birthright. Today, right now, you stand at a crossroads. One path leads to more of the same, continued struggle, limitation, and the nagging sense that you're capable of so much more. The other path leads to awakening, expansion, and the life you've always known was possible deep in your heart. The choice seems obvious, yet so many hesitate at this threshold. Why? Because transformation requires courage, the courage to release, your attachment to who you've been, and step boldly into who you're meant to become. Are you ready to take that step? What if I told you that success, abundance, love, and fulfillment all exist at specific frequencies, and that accessing these experiences is simply a matter of tuning yourself to match them? This isn't metaphysical speculation. It's supported by quantum physics, which has demonstrated that everything in our universe, including our thoughts and emotions, exists as vibrational energy. The sacred code is essentially a precise method for rapidly shifting your vibrational frequency to align with your desired reality. When your personal frequency matches what you want to attract, manifestation becomes effortless. Think about times in your life when everything seemed to flow perfectly. Opportunities appeared at just the right moment, connections formed effortlessly, and success came naturally. During these periods, you were unknowingly aligned with the frequency of what you desired. Conversely, remember periods when everything felt like a struggle, when doors seemed to close before you could reach them, and when life felt like an uphill battle? These were times when your frequency was misaligned with your desires. The difference between these experiences wasn't external circumstances. It was your internal energetic state. The sacred code works by deliberately recalibrating your energetic signature through specific practices that affect your subconscious mind, nervous system, and electromagnetic field. Unlike conventional manifestation techniques that might take months or years to yield results, this ancient method creates immediate shifts because it bypasses the conscious mind's resistance and directly accesses the quantum field where all possibilities exist simultaneously. This explains why those who activate the code often report experiencing dramatic changes within 24 hours, new opportunities, unexpected resources, creative breakthroughs, and profound shifts in perception. If you're resonating with this message and feel called to dive deeper into these transformative teachings, now is the time to take action. Subscribe to our channel right now and type "I activate the sacred code" in the comments to signal to the universe that you're ready for transformation. This simple act sets powerful energies in motion and connects you with thousands of others on this journey of awakening. Have you ever noticed how some limitations feel so intrinsic to your identity that challenging them seems almost sacrilegious? These aren't just habits or beliefs. They're energetic patterns that have become woven into the very fabric of your being. What makes the sacred code so revolutionary is its ability to identify and dissolve these patterns at their source. Unlike conventional personal development approaches that address symptoms rather than causes, the code targets the energetic imprints that generate limiting experiences in the first place. Consider for a moment, where did your core beliefs about what's possible for you originate? Most weren't consciously chosen, but inherited from family, culture, education, and collective consciousness. These beliefs create energetic boundaries that determine what opportunities you can perceive and what experiences you allow yourself to have. The most insidious aspect of these limitations is how invisible they become. You don't recognize them as choices, but accept them as reality itself. The sacred code shatters this illusion by revealing that what you've accepted as the way things are is merely one frequency among infinite possibilities. The most common question people ask when encountering this knowledge is, if transformation can happen so quickly, why haven't I experienced it before? The answer lies in understanding how frequency stabilizes. Your current reality, with all its limitations and struggles, is being maintained by consistent thought patterns, emotional habits, and energetic signatures you emit daily. Like a gyroscope that returns to its orientation after being disturbed, your energetic system naturally resists change. The sacred code works by applying precise pressure to specific points in this system, creating a cascade effect that rapidly recalibrates your entire frequency. Procrastination, fear, and self-doubt are not character flaws, but symptoms of misaligned frequency. When you're vibrating at the level of your authentic power, action becomes effortless, fear transforms into excitement, and confidence flows naturally. The most dangerous trap in personal transformation is waiting for the perfect moment to begin. This waiting itself is a low-frequency state that perpetuates more waiting. The sacred code eliminates this trap by creating an immediate frequency shift that propels you into action. Remember, transformation doesn't require time, it requires alignment, and alignment can happen in an instant. The activation of the sacred code begins with a fundamental understanding. Your conscious mind, the analytical, rational part of you reading these words, is not where transformation occurs. Real change happens at the level of the subconscious mind, which operates approximately 95% of your life and responds not to logic but to energy, symbol, and pattern. The first step in the activation process is creating a bridge between your conscious intentions and your subconscious operating system. This requires entering what ancient traditions called the alpha state, a specific brainwave pattern where the barrier between conscious and subconscious becomes permeable. To enter this state, begin by finding a quiet space where you won't be disturbed for at least 20 minutes. Close your eyes and focus on your breathing, allowing each inhale and exhale to become progressively deeper and more rhythmic. As your body relaxes, visualize a golden light entering through the crown of your head, flowing down your spine and expanding to fill your entire being. This light represents the pure potential of the universe, the raw energy from which all manifestation springs. Feel this energy vibrating in every cell, gradually increasing in intensity until your entire body feels like a humming instrument of transformation. With your system now primed, you'll introduce the sacred code itself, a specific sequence of visualizations, affirmations, and energetic activations that recalibrate your frequency. Begin by visualizing your most authentic, empowered self standing before you, radiating success, fulfillment, and boundless energy. This version of you exists in the quantum field as a real possibility, not mere imagination. Now physically step forward and merge with this vision, allowing yourself to fully embody this energetic signature. As you do, repeat the activation. Phrase, "I am the architect of my reality, aligned with infinite possibility. What I seek is seeking me. My transformation is now complete." The final phase of activation involves anchoring this new frequency so it becomes your default state rather than a temporary experience. Touch your thumb to your middle finger, creating a physical circuit that your subconscious mind will associate with this elevated state. Breathe deeply into this connection for several minutes, knowing that you can return to this exact energetic signature anytime by recreating this simple gesture. Commit to using this anchor at least 3 times daily for the next 24 hours, upon waking, at midday, and before sleeping. This consistent reinforcement is crucial for stabilizing your new frequency and allowing the external manifestations to unfold. Einstein famously stated that problems cannot be solved at the same level of consciousness that created them. The sacred code embodies this principle by facilitating what quantum physicists call a phase transition, a sudden, non-linear shift from one state to another. Just as water transforms from liquid to vapor, not gradually but at a precise point, human consciousness can make quantum leaps that defy conventional understanding of change. These leaps don't follow the expected pattern of incremental improvement, but represent complete paradigm shifts that reorganize your entire reality system instantaneously. Throughout history, there have been countless examples of ordinary people experiencing such quantum leaps after connecting with this knowledge. Consider Maria, a struggling single mother who activated the code after years of financial hardship. Within 24 hours, she received 3 unexpected opportunities that ultimately led to financial freedom and the career she had always dreamed of. Or Thomas, who had battled chronic illness for a decade before discovering the sacred code. After activation, he experienced a spontaneous remission that baffled his doctors and completely transformed his relationship with his body. These aren't anomalies or coincidences. They're examples of consciousness reorganizing reality when aligned with higher frequencies. What makes these transformations possible is a fundamental truth that quantum physics has confirmed, but most of us have forgotten. Physical reality is not solid but vibrational, not fixed but responsive, not independent of consciousness but created by it. The universe doesn't deliver what you want, it delivers what you are, energetically. When you change your energetic signature through the sacred code activation, you're essentially sending a new signal to the quantum field which must respond with corresponding experiences. This explains why the changes that follow activation often appear miraculous. They bypass the conventional mechanisms of cause and effect. Perhaps the most remarkable aspect of the quantum leap is how it collapses time. In conventional change processes, there's an expected delay between cause and effect, between action and result. The sacred code eliminates this delay by working directly with the quantum field, where time as we understand it doesn't exist. All possibilities, past, present, and future, exist simultaneously in this field, and your consciousness simply selects which possibilities to experience as reality. By recalibrating your frequency, you're essentially changing which version of reality you're tuned to, allowing instantaneous transformation rather than gradual evolution. As your frequency begins to shift following the activation, you'll likely experience several distinct phenomena that signal transformation is underway. First, be prepared for synchronicities, meaningful coincidences that defy statistical probability. You might think of someone moments before they call, encounter exactly the information you need without searching for it, or meet precisely the right person at exactly the right time. These aren't coincidences but confirmations that you're aligning with the intelligence of the universe, which always moves in the most efficient path toward manifestation. The second phenomenon you'll notice is accelerated intuition. Thoughts and impressions will arise with unusual clarity and certainty, often accompanied by physical sensations like goosebumps, a rush of energy, or a feeling of expansion in your chest. This is your higher consciousness communicating directly with you, bypassing the filtering mechanisms of the rational mind. Trust these impressions implicitly, especially when they contradict conventional logic. They represent guidance from a level of intelligence that can perceive patterns and possibilities invisible to the analytical mind. Perhaps the most challenging aspect of the shift is what spiritual traditions call the void, a temporary phase where old patterns have dissolved, but new manifestations haven't yet fully materialized. During this period, you may feel disoriented, uncertain, or even slightly empty, as if you're suspended between worlds. This is both natural and necessary. The void is a space of pure potential, where the old reality is released and the new reality is being constructed. Rather than resisting this phase, embrace it as evidence that true transformation is occurring. Stay vigilant against the temptation to revert to familiar patterns out of discomfort with this uncertainty. As new circumstances begin manifesting, you'll face a critical choice point. Will you fully step into this new reality, or will you unconsciously sabotage it because it contradicts your old self-concept? Many people inadvertently reject the very opportunities they've manifested because success feels more threatening than familiar struggle. Remember that your identity must expand to accommodate your new circumstances. Deliberately practice seeing yourself as someone who naturally attracts success, abundance, and fulfillment. Each time you accept and integrate a new manifestation, you further stabilize your elevated frequency, creating a positive spiral of expanding possibility. While the initial activation of the sacred code creates dramatic shifts within 24 hours, sustaining and expanding these changes requires conscious practice. Think of your new frequency as a musical note that needs to be played consistently to remain in the symphony of your life. The most effective sustainability practice is daily renewal of the code through abbreviated activation immediately upon waking. These first moments of consciousness are exceptionally powerful because your brainwaves are naturally in an alpha state, making your subconscious particularly receptive to programming. The second essential practice for sustaining transformation is frequency protection. Just as a radio signal can be disrupted by interference, your new energetic signature can be affected by exposure to lower frequencies, whether from negative environments, draining relationships, or disempowering media consumption. Conduct an honest inventory of what influences you're regularly exposed to, and make courageous decisions to eliminate or minimize those that compromise your frequency. Remember, everything is energy, and every interaction either elevates or diminishes your vibrational state. A common challenge in maintaining elevated frequency is the inevitable encounter with contrast, situations that seem to contradict your new reality. When facing apparent setbacks or obstacles, remember that these aren't signs of failure, but opportunities for reinforcement and expansion. Rather than interpreting challenges as evidence that the code doesn't work, recognize them as invitations to apply the code more deeply. Each time you respond to contrast by deliberately realigning with your highest frequency, rather than descending into old patterns, you strengthen your new energetic foundation and expand your capacity to hold higher states of consciousness. Perhaps the most powerful sustainability practice is frequency amplification through conscious creation. The universe operates on a principle of expansion. Energy that isn't moving forward is, by default, moving backward. To maintain and amplify your elevated frequency, continuously set new intentions from your most expanded state. As each manifestation occurs, immediately establish the next evolution rather than plateauing in satisfaction. This creates an ascending spiral of creation that prevents stagnation and ensures that your energetic signature continues to refine and elevate, opening doors to possibilities you can't currently imagine. What many don't realize when beginning this journey is that personal transformation through the sacred code creates ripples that extend far beyond individual experience. When you elevate your frequency, you automatically influence the energetic fields of everyone you encounter. Without saying a word or taking any direct action, your mere presence becomes a tuning fork that helps others vibrate at higher frequencies. This is why those who activate the code often report that their relationships transform, their work environments shift, and even strangers respond to them differently, all without deliberate intervention. This ripple effect explains why certain people throughout history have had such profound influence on collective consciousness. Figures like Gandhi, Martin Luther King Jr., and Mother Teresa weren't just inspiring through their words and actions, they were actually altering the energetic field around them through their elevated frequencies. When enough individuals make the shift, a phenomenon called critical mass occurs, where collective consciousness itself begins to transform. Some quantum physicists suggest that it takes only the square root of 1% of a population vibrating at a higher frequency to initiate collective transformation. Understanding this broader impact brings an important dimension to your personal practice. The recognition that your transformation isn't merely self-serving, but serves the evolution of collective consciousness. As you stabilize in higher frequencies, you become a living invitation for others to do the same. This doesn't require proselytizing or convincing others intellectually. It happens naturally as your energy field interacts with theirs. The most powerful way to help others transform is not by trying to change them, but by fully embodying your own highest frequency, creating a field of possibility that makes evolution easier for everyone you encounter. This perspective transforms how you view challenging relationships or environments. Rather than seeing difficult people as obstacles to your peace or growth, recognize them as opportunities to strengthen and expand your field. When you can maintain your elevated frequency in the presence of lower vibrations without being affected by them, you've reached a new level of mastery. More importantly, your stable field creates a bridge that helps others cross into higher states of consciousness, often without them even recognizing what's happening. This is true service, not fixing or changing others, but holding a frequency that makes their own transformation more accessible. As we reach the conclusion of this revelation, it's important to recognize that this ending is actually your beginning. The sacred code has now been transmitted, and its activation potential exists within you, waiting to be fully expressed. The next 24 hours represent a critical window where your conscious commitment will either catalyze profound transformation or allow this potential to remain dormant. Make a declaration right now that you choose transformation without reservation or hesitation. Speak it aloud. I fully activate the sacred code within me. My transformation is now inevitable. Recognize that doubt is the only true obstacle to your transformation. If thoughts arise questioning whether this will work for you specifically, understand that these doubts are not personal failures, but the natural resistance of old frequency patterns fighting to survive. Rather than engaging with these thoughts or trying to overcome them through willpower, simply observe them with compassionate detachment and return to the feeling of your new frequency. Remember, energy flows where attention goes. Give your attention to the new reality you're creating, not the doubts that would keep you from it. Implementation is where most transformational opportunities are lost. Reading about the sacred code is not the same as living it. Within the next hour, create sacred time and space to perform the full activation process described in Chapter 5. Then, establish specific times for your 3 daily reinforcement practices over the next 24 hours. Create environmental triggers that will remind you to maintain frequency awareness. Perhaps a symbol on your phone wallpaper, a specific piece of jewelry that represents your commitment, or strategic notes placed where you'll encounter them throughout your day. These physical anchors bridge the gap between intention and implementation. As you move forward from this moment, carry this truth with you. You are not becoming something you're not. You're returning to what you've always been beneath the layers of conditioning and limitation. The sacred code doesn't give you power. It removes the illusions that have hidden your inherent power from your awareness. Your transformed life is not a new creation, but a revelation of what has always been your birthright. The person you were before encountering this knowledge hasn't died, but has been integrated into a more expansive identity that can hold both your humanity and your divinity in perfect balance. This integration is the ultimate transformation, not escaping who you are, but finally fully becoming it.